Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Jason, and this is Pastor Dave, and I got questions, and he's got answers. Hey, Dave, when we're walking in ministry, really it doesn't matter if you've been with the church for 20 years or 10 years. The idea of trying to help people is always out there. That's what we're trying to do, is draw people unto Christ. And I personally have had it where I've been able to talk into someone's life and start walking with them, and then they fall. And you get them and you pick them back up and you help and you start walking again, and maybe they fall again. If the fall again and again and again and again continues to happen, does the Bible give us a place to where we draw a line, to where we say enough's enough? You're continually going against the counsel, and this time I have to let you go.
Well, the idea of letting go, Paul talks about turning an individual over to Satan, that his flesh would be judged in that sense, so that he not be judged in eternity. But turning over, when it comes to discipline and that kind of a habitual kind of an offender, it seems to me that you never really turn them over in the sense that you give up on them. Mm-hmm. Even though you may reach a point where you'd have to say, you don't listen to what I'm saying, or you're not doing any of the things that perhaps the scriptures have really counseled you, and I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels with you. And so when you really want to get serious with me on this level, I'm always open, always here to help. And maybe that would jar them. But as far as giving them up, you never do. You always resort to prayer. Yeah. It's maybe not the one-on-one contact where you're face to face with one another, but you go into this stealth kind of a warfare where you begin to do battle in their behalf, and it's where Christ, as Paul says, would be formed once again in them, where you begin to just pray for them, where the contact may not be as frequent and maybe not even as it had in the past at all, but yet you don't ever give up on them in prayer. I believe that the Lord does things when we begin to, in that place, let go, in the sense of turning over for the destruction of their flesh, so to speak. When you begin to just say, well, you're going this path, and I'm here to help if you ever want to come out of that. But you go to prayer. And so much happens in behind the scenes that the Lord does that we can't possibly do in touching their heart. So I would encourage that sometimes we're enablers, where really what they need is somebody to talk to them, re-counsel them, and you've already said it 15 times to them, and they go away feeling like they've been spiritually spanked. And so you've really enabled them to continue that kind of a cycle. So there is a point where you realize, wait a minute, we're not going anywhere with this. I think our times are over as far as our talking. I'm always here, always open. But then as they would go on their path and just begin to pray for them, keep them in prayer. And the Lord then begins to work in behind the scenes, which we always have been praying anyway. Yeah. But then it seems like when the Lord begins to spank them, in that sense of a spiritual awakening, he has a lot better way of, whether they sit in front of us 15 times, he has a lot better way of getting to their heart much quicker when we really, to their benefit, let them go. And so I would encourage that there is a line, but I don't know where it's at. You'll know in your heart. Let your heart be the judge on that. But you know when you've gone, I've already talked to you about this. We've gone this distance. Yeah. I'm here if I can help. I don't see any more reason to go any further. And then let them go. But then stay in prayer.
So if you have someone in your life that you've been working with and it seems like you're not getting anywhere, the idea of letting them go may occur, but don't let go. Continue to pray in hopes that God can go places in their heart that you couldn't reach. I know that's a good lesson for me right now, and I'm going to heed the advice and do just what Pastor Dave advised me to do. Hey, thanks for joining us.